So let's talk formula commands. When we say formula commands, these are just functions that are going to make using formulas a little bit easier in Excel. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about how to, jump into the formula bar, how to open the insert dialog box to assist you using formulas, inserting the arguments into current formula, and we're going to talk about a little about array of formulas. So here are the keys in the lesson. This F2 is pretty standard. Get you into the cell to edit it, and also the formula bar. This insert function arguments. That one's kind of unknown. I don't know if it's the most useful, but there's definitely cases where you can use it. But insert, this one right here, open insert dialog box. Pay close attention to that because a lot of people use this by clicking on a different button, but there's, this command is pretty unknown. So keep your notebook out for that one. And array formulas, that's like, they got a mind of their own. So we'll talk about that in a second. Hey, welcome back. Let's learn about formula navigation. So here's a formula right here. It sums up the results in this table in the M column, the amounts. It sums up it basically adds together the sum of Q1 and Q2. And it's not that important what it does. What's important is we see how to edit it. So the quickest way to get into this formula bar up here, when I was hovering over, it would probably be to click with my mouse. But another quick way to get in there is by pressing the F2 key. And if you see, I just entered into the formula, and now I can edit it, move around, or I can press Control Shift to select sections of it. We're going to learn about that kind of movement later, but right now we're just learning how to get in there and use some of the bigger formula functions. So if you wanted to go to the function arguments, if you wanted to enter function arguments, you would press Shift F3, and now it takes a look at the structure of the formula, and it fills up the function arguments. Let's get a better example. So I just press the escape key. Let's go over here. So let's say we want to do like a lookup, right? And actually the next thing I want to show you is the open insert dialog box. So right here, if we want to insert a function, we just pressed Shift F3, and now we can edit. So we can edit that and say, let's say we want to do a lookup. Go, and then we can choose a VLOOKUP, and it actually pulls up the function arguments for us, which is pretty cool. If you're already in the cell and you have it up, it'll pull this box up for you. So if you're outside of the cell, it pulls up the lookup. If you haven't typed in what the argument is yet, it pulls up the options. And then if you have it typed in, it pulls up this box so you can insert each piece. So we want to look up the value, let's see. We want to look up the salesperson, see if it's in here, and then return, let's say we want to return the region. So we would look up the value, okay, 7. In this table, I'm going to cheat, use the mouse, and then the column that we want to return is going to be the 5th column, and then false. Okay, so that means it's an exact match only. So let's press the enter button, fill this all the way down. Let's use a little shortcut here, the F4 key, make them absolute references. Let's try, there we go. And you know what? This one right here wasn't supposed to be an absolute reference. So there we go. So that's how you do that. So let's enter that again. Let's get in there. So let's say all we have is the word VLOOKUP right there. We have our function in there, and it's got no arguments in there. We can actually press Ctrl Shift A, and it will give us sample arguments to put in so you can see the structure of the formula. So that's pretty cool. So you can see that you want to put your lookup value there, the table that you're looking at, the column you want to return from, and then whether it's true or false. And then one last thing I wanted to show you. I don't know if this is necessarily a shortcut. It's actually the only way to know how to do it. But if you want to use a matrix formula, which is just, it's a more complex formula. You can do it for things like quickly creating sample data sets, counting the number of characters in a range of cells. Sometimes if you want to work with like a bunch of variables at once, you can use what's called a matrix formula, and when you enter your formula, like let's click on this formula, you would press Ctrl Shift Enter, and it actually puts these curly braces on there. It allows you to enter multiple variables at a time. So we'll talk about this at another time, but that's how you do it.